women up here, Attilia, Valentina, and Henley. And this is going to be more of a Q&A for them, and we'll pass the mic around, but I really wanted to get to the heart of just the industry, emotional intelligence, authenticity. The women here that are surrounding me right now is really phenomenal to see. And talking to them about what it means to run a successful travel agency and to run successful hotel operations, and also stay authentic to who you are as women and as leaders in this space. So I'm gonna actually just kick it off because we have a limited amount of time. But each of you guys run very complex operations. And how has your leadership style evolved over the course of many decades and adapted to the changing expectations of both the customer but also your employees? I'll put it to Henley first.
That was such a long question. What? Say again?
How has your leadership style evolved when it comes to dealing with the industry, but also with employees and who you work with and how you work?
Okay, thanks for shortening that one. Oh, she's such an executive. Yeah, I mean, look, I think, okay, so Fora, we're a travel agency, we're all travel advisors, we deal with our suppliers and our clients and all of that. But Fora, the other side of it is we are a tech company. We have a bunch of engineers building tools. And so we sort of have these two sides of the company. I love that side of it. What I don't love is like the tech world, the way they talk about everything, scalability and efficiency and all of that. And there's really like very little of the magic that happens here that's scalable, which is why we focus on building all the tools and all the things that we can do to scale the parts that can be automated. And that's like a really big push for us this year, is how do we actually make ourselves more efficient? But I think for me, like leadership is really leaning into that stuff that we do that can't be scaled and can't be taken away from us, and like never losing who you are, like knowing that you get really frustrated in a certain situation and finding a friend that you can talk to about it, and like being inspired by people you work with and like taking the time to say like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And I think that to me is like, if I could like transmit one piece of what I've done over the last 17 years or whatever in this industry, it's that build those relationships by like showing what you care about, showing who you are. That is leadership. That's leadership for who you work with. That's leadership for your clients. Like I have clients that are jerks and I don't want to work with them anymore. But like, you know, I could go back and be jerks to them, or I could try to like be the bigger person and show them actually like, let's be really thankful for the fact that this thing is happening, or that you could even go there in the first place. And so, yeah, I guess leadership to me is just like trying to be thoughtful and be a human, rather than like leaning into all we read in every bit of business news, which is like scale it, you know, be better, you know, be more tech, be more AI. All of that's important, but like what makes us leaders for our clients or our businesses is being humans.
I'd love to ask you, Attilia, when you're thinking about leadership in running the hotel, how do you kind of come across, and what tactics do you use?
Okay, thank you so much for having me here. Actually, it's very different, let's say, because I grew up into the hotel, and many of our staff has been with us since the beginning. So they saw me growing up, and they needed to change the way that they look at me. So I started to be at the beginning very like friendly and try to. Also, we are like as we are because of them. So I'm really thankful. I'm really, really thankful for them. Otherwise, our concierge has been with us 25 years. So he saw really me growing into the hotel. So I try to be like understanding, try to see what they need to provide them, so that I know that they're treating the guest as a part of the family. That's the thing they're really looking forward into, let's say, leadership. I also am very like proud and happy to be working with my sister. So sometimes she needs to step in at the moment that I'm struggling. It's a little bit too much of a complex situation, like being together. We are completely different, like I'm the sun, she's the moon, but we work together very well. Yeah, you know her, so we are completely different, but working together has put our relationship to another level. And I think this is the beauty of the leadership in our hotel. She's the leader, I'm right behind her, but we work together. So I know I really know what she's thinking the moment I look into her face. So it's easy with the staff, with the family. I think this is the main point of the hotel, especially our hotel. Like every hotel, I think in the Corrido family, this is the main point. We treated everyone like family, and we want the guests to feel that. So that's, I think, in my opinion, like the main thing that we're doing good at the moment.
Thank you, first of all, for being here. It's very emotional. And thank you for having me with this another fantastic trio of women. And I wish I could have a sister like like Attilia and Mariella. Unfortunately, I'm an only child, but in some way I have a similar situation. So I grew up in the hotel, so many people saw me and baked my cakes for every birthday. And I don't know, I don't really, for me it's very difficult even thinking about leadership. I don't feel I'm a leader in some way, because I really learned that growing up, of course, I started to take an official role just like 15 years ago, and I had to learn that the only way to enter in a company that saw me like the little child was just showing myself. What you say, being authentic, being yourself, not trying to put yourself in the role of the leader. We are a family company, and what Titi said is really true. So we need to all feel that very big sense of belonging. But also on another side, I built my own team that didn't see me growing. They all started with me in the last 15 years, and they all grew with me. And again, in this in this other side, in this other aspect of our company, being a leader was meaning growing together. So really learning things together. And I think that learning from others, so from my team, from my family, from my parents, from what my grandparents did, from all of you as a community, because I think that we are all part of the same family. Learning is a king concept for leadership.
Valentina, what you said about learning, I think, is key. I mean, we're in a room full of advisors who have entered into this space, only some of them less than a year. Henley, when you think about best practices and teaching, learning, and the best way to engage with these hotel partners and to engage with their clients, how do you show vulnerability with, like, maybe you don't know everything, but you're going to figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, you never, ever will know everything in travel. It's something that bothers me about this industry, and I'm happy to go on the record saying this, is that people think they know stuff because they've done this for a long time. And they think that they, like, yeah, I got it. And I was at an event for one of our hotel partners, and it was for their top sellers. And there were a lot of complaints from other advisors that were there, and these were their top sellers, so people who really know that brand and do know these hotels. And there were a lot of complaints from them saying, we don't want to do this portion of the event. We want to go to the spa, we want to do some activities, we want to, like, have cocktails, we don't want to do this. And I was talking to somebody from the brand on the flight home, and I said, don't ever get rid of that. Because I sat there and I did do my meetings, and every single hotel that I talked to, I learned something. It doesn't matter if you booked that hotel 25 times and you've been there multiple times. If you actually sit there and listen to any of these hoteliers in the room, and you ask them, learn to ask them questions. Ask what's new, what's changed, what should I know, what's happening this season. There's always going to be something new. And yes, in travel, it's awesome. We learn stuff all the time because somebody asks you to plan Sri Lanka and you're like, okay, let me go figure it out. And, like, you know, that is also what we do and why we have a community and training. But I think even just always remember that the things you think you know, you don't really know that well. And for me, the stuff that unlocks when somebody says, oh, did you know we have, like, a candy shop on every floor in this, like, city hotel in Boston? What? Oh yeah, and, like, the room keys open it. And so kids can just go in. What? Like, I didn't know that. And this is, you know, that's a fun thing that you have. That's the stuff that sells for me. That's the stuff that you say to a client and they go, oh my God, that's so fun. It's the personality and how you tell a story, and that really is sales. So for me, the thing about learning is just don't ever stop, and don't ever think you know it all.
It's very difficult taking it from here. No, I mean, speaking about vulnerability, to take a different approach, I think it's very nice to show yourself vulnerable. I mean, this doesn't mean crying all the time. I have one person. I have one person in my team, which is our HR, that cries all day long, and this is a little bit too much, maybe too much, because it's difficult to handle. But when you are in a difficult moment, because you don't know something, ask. Because you don't know how to face a situation, share it with your team and together. So I think that togetherness, so making yourself part of something bigger, not being alone, I think it's very important. So it's always being true to yourself, even when you don't find yourself in a strong position. There is nothing bad to be in a challenging moment, or in a moment where you don't have any clue of what to do. It happens to me too many times, unfortunately. And the only solution is not just trying to make up myself and trying to have the solution in my pocket, but it's just speaking with others and asking questions, asking suggestions. I ask so many suggestions. My team hate me because I have doubts, and I prefer, even if I think something, I like something and I have a decision, I always prefer to ask, what do you think? Because it's just from the, how can I say, interaction with others that to me the best idea come from. I don't have a sister, but I have two parents which are very present in my company. And we are very, very different, even more than the moon and sun, but with very different ideas, very different approach, and we fight sometimes, but I always think that from our fights, which are very peaceful fights, by the way, the best things come out. So I think that, I don't know the word of confrontarsi. I don't know, maybe you can help me, Atti. Confrontation with the others is the best solution that you always have in your pocket.
Now it's even more difficult. Okay, but I think the same. I mean, every time I'm feeling like I'm not in the right place, I'm feeling not good at what I'm doing, I always talk to some friends in the room, like in the office. I said, what do you think? I'm doing that good. What their suggestion? How can we improve? It's so easy to rely on others in this industry that you never feel like you're doing something wrong. Every time someone says, oh, don't worry, we already did this, you can do that to improve, or you're doing good, don't worry, it will come up. And also, like, with Mariella, it's always a confrontation. We are never so peaceful, really, sometimes, I have to say, but that's the beauty of it. We fight and we say, okay, I want the pink more pink, you want the pink less pink, but we end up having always a confrontation, a conversation with all the team. We are open to any suggestion, especially when we didn't have so many part of the team that grew up with us, so it was so like peaceful in mind to ask them, what do you think? Are we doing great? We had so many support from other also hotel on the coast, like even in your part of Crevido, like Santa Caterina, Le Sirenuse. It's always so great that you can call them and you know they're going to help you in any case. Okay, you're doing good. So it's always so. It seems an easy job sometimes, even if you're feeling you're not good at that. But it's okay. It's a challenge. You're growing every time. So since the moment I start, I'm completely another person. And sometimes I look behind and say, "Oh my God, I did something good." Sometimes, not always, but it's a challenge, and I'm really enjoying it every moment of it.
I think what's interesting to me when you were talking about community, you guys are a family. I consider the Fora advisors a family. We have different, the WhatsApp chats are out of control. Poor Henley, isn't every single one of them.
I'm really trying.
But when we talk about vulnerability, we talk about we might not know everything and I need help. I think what's fascinating to me, because I came from fashion, was that wasn't really a thing or a place. And when I came into the travel industry and Henley was like, big hug, and you're like, this woman's weird. I don't think I know what I'm getting myself into. It was the most eye-opening and inspiring thing, and then meeting all the hoteliers was also eye-opening and inspiring because you guys were all so welcoming, and I think with hospitality and this kind of new wave of entering into it, we have a place and a chance to really make magical moments happen with the clients and being able to work with you. So I'd love to hear from you guys in terms of what do you care about when you're working with an advisor that matters, that you want to make an exceptional experience to the client?
So probably you know the advisor, so you're starting to begin friends, talking to them, and they know the client very well. So even some little things that will help them feeling home. So even if they're traveling for 2 months, but they're feeling home at the hotel, I think it's the best way to experience the hotel or to experience the place that they are. That when they hug you, when they're on departure day, say thank you so much, you made my day. Even if it was just you remember that they love the chocolate in the morning, something very niche thing. Because we are blessed with the most amazing hotel in the world. So it's not only the view, it's the people that make the differences. And I think this is the connection that we have with the advisor is the plus that we give to the client at the end. It's always like that.
Yeah, so as everything, the human connection makes the whole thing, no? So, of course, we have the chat, just to add a little bit, but we speak a lot. So the thing is that many times, if there is something that is not 100% clear to me, or I really like, and Querido is like a family, so it's very easy to think about them top of mind, and then there are those magical people like Katie, Riyadh, and that are making these moments that put us all together and allow us to meet all of you. So we are, I think, two big powerhouses. So you know many times a lot about your clients, and sometimes also we learn something of your clients that are our guests, something more. So I think the best and most powerful thing that can be created by by this human connection is not just the personal relationship, but also the kind of information that we can share, because knowing the final client/guest, so depending on the point of view, is what can make the difference. No, so it's not like being obsessive with personalization, because now I think that we tend to stress it too much. So I mean, sometimes receiving just a list of things that a guest like or don't like, it's not always valuable, because I mean, yeah, they don't eat candies strawberry flavor. Okay, they will not pick them. I will not. Okay, maybe if I have them as an amenity, I will avoid them. But other than that, it's not just about the preferences, the amenity. But if there is something major that can make the difference, it's only sharing between each other, and it's never a one way. So I think it's very important that us as hotelier also do the same. So take that bit extra effort, that if we manage to collect something meaningful, we give it back to you. So I don't know if it makes sense, but really sharing is the power that our industry and our community has.
Yeah, I'm just going to add in, obviously I'm not on the hotel side, but just a story that, like, it's like you were saying, it's not just about the strawberry candies. Like, if something is happening for your client on their trip, because particularly a lot of these are trips where they're starting in one place and they're going to another, or maybe they've had flight delays. If there's in the middle, and this was particularly with one of your properties, I had a couple, they had insisted on going. No. This is, you said, they had insisted on going to the Amalfi Coast, not with you, in April. And we said, it could be rainy, it could be cold, sure that it's open, but like this might not be the best time of year to go. Doesn't matter, we want to go, fine. Okay, so they go with all the expectations managed. And guess what? It rains the entire time there. And it doesn't matter that we told them. They're sad. They're upset. Oh, we didn't like our trip. They start to find every problem they can. And so then they were on their way up to Lake Como. And so we reached out to her hotels and said, guys, here's what's been happening. Like, they already knew that they didn't like strawberry candies, or they had an allergy to, bright lights or whatever. But like, you didn't know until we told you that, like, they're grumpy. they're grumpy right now for no reason other than a cloud sat on top of their hotel for the entire time they were there. And so your staff, when they checked in, were like, oh my God, we heard you had terrible weather. We hope it's better here, blah, blah. It was just, that was that little magic that completely turned the trip around. And so that's one of those things, like, if you know that your client has had a lot of a flight delay and they're on their way to the south of France, let Loic's staff know, hey, they're grumpy, like, or they're happy, or they're whatever. Like those little bits of like their actual like fragile mental state at that point in travel actually is sometimes the thing that lets them do their jobs best, because yes, always we're being prepared and telling them the basics, but that's that thing where then they know what's coming at them when these people walk through the door.
I mean, it's being a human at that point, and that's what this is we're all just being human. We're almost at time, so I'm just gonna ask one final question, which kind of relates to being human. This is a 24/7 job. Yes. How do you guys find balance? That's your question.
Valentina, did you find balance in your life?
What?
What is balance? Still trying. Still. I mean, probably not looking at email every time, like every half an hour. I take 10 minutes break.
That's great.
That's a good start, and I love what I do. So sometimes the balance is okay. I take one night off and that's it. I can rebalance everything, but still in the process of understanding the right type of balancing.
I mean, there's no balance in this job. There's no way. And I think my balance is like accepting that there's no balance, and that's just that. And I do like to fight. I hit people. I get hit. I like to box a lot, and fighting helps me turn my brain off. I also can't fit a PCR test up half my nose because of it. But it helps me. So I think find balance by finding a thing that you love that makes you turn your brain off. But also just by accepting, like, I love this. Like, I love all of the parts. I love the advisor parts. I love the hotelier parts. I love even the crazy client parts. Like, I love making people happy. And so the balance is like, aren't we lucky to do what we do? But also find those other things. I love trash TV too. Like, love. Virgin River. Was I right? Was I right? Happy cries. Yeah. So find the stuff that makes you happy, but then also like do the job that makes you happy.
Yeah, 100%. So you're both speaking at the end of the story of love. So something that it's really a passion and not just a job. Does this passion give you balance? No. Embrace that you're not balanced. So, I mean, of course, the most difficult part is balancing life, personal and not personal, because at the end of the story, it's our life, both. So my job is my life, and my family is my life too, but it's not just a job. So that's, I think, is something that needs to be very clear, and it's the same for you all, because you're all, your own business is yourself. So you're putting so much of yourself. So this kind of profession maybe doesn't give you balance, but if you embrace it, and you accept that you're not totally balanced, I think it's okay. It's okay. Is it balance a good thing? I don't know. I never experienced it. So I think it's okay embracing it. And once you accept it and you manage to do something good to yourself, you will be happy. So the important thing is to be happy at the end of the day.
Don't you think your kids see that too?
No. Maybe when they're growing, they're still little, and actually I'm actually in the phase where it's becoming challenging. When they were younger, it was not challenging. I was leaving and they were saying, "Hey, ciao, mommy, see you tomorrow," and then I was not showing up tomorrow, and they were fine. Now they start to complain and to understand what means that I'm going away and they're in the hands of their father for a few days, which they love. It's great, much better than me, 100%, but still. Luckily, I still have some pros and something that they appreciate more. But it's not easy, and sometimes I have down moments because, of course, my kids are my priority. But I know that we'll be proud and they will be happy kids in any case. So I just think that I'm doing it for myself and for them. So but yeah, not yet very, very understandable.
Yeah, and I think just in looking around this room, there's a lot of their mothers and daughters and sisters and wives and partners and, you know, all of that. And I get the thing that I tell people all the time is like your personal life will coexist with this professional life, which has zero balance in it. But like, I do think that you can do it all like that. And that like, that's the whole beauty of this is like, if I was at an event and I missed my daughter's prom, her senior prom, and I was like crying and feeling really sad for myself. And there were all these other moms there who were like, it's cool, we all got on FaceTime with her and we told her she looked pretty and we told her we hated her prom date and like, you know, we did like, and you, there were all these women that were like, it's gonna be fine. And I just think that's the whole thing. Women and men, the few of you in here too, we love you too. But you know, you bond together and whatever your personal life or problems or struggles are in that moment, there's gonna be somebody who's gonna be like, it's gonna be fine.
Great. Well, thank you everyone. I think lunch is ready. So thank you all for joining us.